Can you imagine a world without social ills? Or let me ask you a different question. Can you imagine the ills of the world being cured by music? This may sound like utopia, but let me tell you our story. I come from Venezuela, a beautiful country that is overflowing with natural resources and with the type of natural beauty that makes you feel like you're in paradise. But unfortunately, Venezuela has been plagued by social ills in recent years. It has been ranked the most dangerous country in the world and suffers the largest hyperinflation in history. Most Venezuelans live in poverty, without access to basic necessities like food, water, electricity, or even medicine. But there is a music education program that through rigorous orchestral practice has transformed the lives of over 1 million Venezuelans, and 1 million more if you count the other 60 countries that have implemented this system. This program, El Systema, changed my life forever. It was amazing for me to experience music creating such incredible joy and motivation. The program gave students a platform and a way for them to work hard and persevere, and allowed for everybody to be uplifted regardless of their circumstances. As an orchestra conductor, I know literally hundreds of people that were part of this program that would have likely ended up with a life on the street, but thanks to the values instilled by the program, they found a way to earn a living for themselves and often provide for their families, even in the toughest conditions. The transformation of so many people was so palpable that I decided that this was my calling in life. So I took this concept everywhere I went, because we all share human struggle. It's not just Venezuela.
So when we found each other here in Washington with the opportunity to design an after-school program, we took the same concept and applied it to the American culture. The program had students who lived in shelters or whose parents were in prison, but also some that went to private school. There were students on the autistic spectrum or with various medical conditions. We even had child refugees from countries in Africa and Central America who barely spoke a word of English. It was the first time I witnessed music serving as a universal language in such a tangible way. It created an environment that was truly inclusive. At the same time, music was equipping everyone with indispensable skills to succeed in life. The students were learning responsibility and discipline through excellence and teamwork. And because they absorbed everything like sponges, it inspired the responsibility in us to be our absolute best at all times.
But then, the pandemic hit and everything stopped. So we had to be very creative in order to continue providing for our students. And although this seemed impossible at first, we soon realized that an online setting could open up endless possibilities. To start with, we created an individualized platform and curriculum for our youth orchestra that met the students' individual needs in a way that would have never been possible in person. But what was truly amazing is the way we were able to connect all of the different students that we work with in the different countries in the world and be able to do it through an online platform. This had always been a dream of ours, and now it finally became possible. It's been fascinating to see people from completely different nationalities and cultures, all the way from North to South America, Europe, and Asia, not only making music together, but helping each other thrive.
We created a mentorship program that paired experienced students with less advanced musicians. The system became very effective because they improved exponentially. One of the reasons was simply because a lot of times the students being paired were close in age or had other things in common. So they looked up to their mentors and wanted to be like them. They wanted to become mentors themselves. But the real reason this was so effective is because when a person offers their craft to the service of others and realizes the deep transformation this can create, it automatically gives them a clear sense of purpose and instills in them a moral responsibility to be the best they can be in order to make everyone around them better.
This seemed to really work, so much that we thought, what if we apply this mentorship concept not only to musicians? What if we unite forces with different artistic disciplines like poetry, visual arts, or ballet? So we created projects for our musicians to work with different artists of all kinds, regardless of their abilities and disabilities. By this point, we had the most respected musicians in the world came along to support this ideal and decided to teach our most committed students completely free of charge. Of course, this inspired many more talented musicians to join this altruistic philosophy, and before we knew it, we had over 250 initiatives being designed by students and teachers to serve the world through music.
The social transformation we've witnessed is not a coincidence, because musical training produces biological changes that instill major behavioral benefits in children that sets them up for better lives. And it's not just children that music can benefit. In fact, learning music increases your brain's ability to change in people of any age, more than any other activity. Studies show that music learning increases your ability to learn in so many areas, like language, literacy, memory, attention, executive function, general intelligence, the list just goes on. But one of the most incredible things is that all of these positive effects have been shown to last for decades, even after training stops. Music can also aid medical conditions. There is significant evidence that shows that while trauma blocks pathways in the brain, music sets them free. Whether it is treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder or autism, music therapy has the ability to create incredible personal transformation. It can even reteach stroke victims how to speak and Parkinson's patients how to walk. Music has the capacity to create such incredible transformation that it's clearly a resource that is underutilized. So when we looked back at our mentorship program, we realized that what makes it so effective is pairing musical excellence with being of service to others. So if you consciously apply this to all of the things that music can benefit, then music as a resource can be maximized. So we expanded our mentorship concept to include all of the different things that music can do. And now we have program ambassadors who are working on projects that span the spectrum of what music can do to heal. Some are bringing music therapy to people with disabilities, including Down syndrome, blindness, or autism, or to patients with illnesses like cancer and depression. There are programs that are bringing vibrational therapy to pregnant mothers to reduce trauma for premature babies. And there's a program that is developing a method to teach music to the deaf community. We also have a program that utilizes music as a tool to aid speech development for children with microcephaly, spurred by the Zika virus in the poorest region of Brazil.
And just like I gained purpose in Venezuela through El Systema, our program ambassadors are gaining purpose through their own projects. And you can feel such palpable passion in each of them because they're fusing their craft with the type of outreach they feel most passionate about. And because they're finding a way to create true impact in people that they truly care about. And because music is an ideal vessel for transformation, we welcome any type of project that makes a positive impact. For instance, some of our programs utilize music to create equity. And for instance, there's a program ambassador in Colombia that has a program that is collaborating with indigenous, peasants, and Afro-Colombian communities. And she's basically honoring their music by celebrating their musical traditions. Other endeavors are providing a platform for underrepresented composers to have their music played and their voices heard. Other educational initiatives include the creation of full after-school programs spread out in diverse communities in the world. And of course, we have countless social projects that carry out the original mentorship concept of providing free lessons to thousands of students that are very deserving, but that would otherwise not be able to afford it.
We have found that the power of music is simply limitless, and we're committed to spreading it throughout the world. Music is an incredible force, and when fused with service, it reveals a greater depth of humanity. As Aristotle said, music has the power of producing a certain effect on the moral character of the soul. And if it has the power to do this, then it is clear that the young must be directed to music and must be educated in it. If we focus our efforts on intentionally and passionately serving the world through music, and we make sure everyone has access to this resource, then the world can be transformed.
And the thing is that anyone who receives the opportunity to be immersed in music in a truly meaningful way, that is, music fused with service, will understand the value and necessity for human beings to help each other. And regardless of whether they become a musician or decides to pursue a career as a lawyer, doctor, politician, or whatever they want to become, their contributions to humanity will be maximized. If we collectively, as a human race, embrace music as an essential resource, a human right, and a social responsibility, then our contributions to humanity will always be maximized, and the ills that our planet perpetuates will melt away, and we will be left with a civilization that is altruistic, supportive, and filled with generosity. This is how music can save humanity. Thanks so much.